Welcome, welcome, welcome back. This is day 3 of the Trifecta framework. Once again, my name is Liz Jacoy. I'm with Liz Jacoy Coaching, and you can see my website, lizjacoy.com, scrolling across the screen, as well as my email. If you've really enjoyed the last 2 days, you're in for a treat today as well. Day 3. By the way, I'm going to be doing this every month. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this platform with StreamYard, just because I'm not enjoying a couple of things with it. Same thing, so bear with me. You may have to register and sign up for my Zoom account and get emails that way. But for now, I just thought I'd do it this way. So welcome. And this day 3, as I mentioned, there are 3 pillars to the Trifecta framework, and you have to have all 3 in place in order really to achieve that mastery of your mindset, to really master your mind, master your decisions, master anything that it is you're doing in your life. You need these 3 pillars. And as you know, within pillars, there are structural frameworks and steps within each one of these pillars, so many different tools and that sort of thing. So let me just recap the last 2 days as it leads up to day 3 today before I go into day 3. Just want to say that I'm excited that you're here. If you're watching the replay, please let me know. Just put #replay. If you would like and when you would like to maybe rejoin, because you might hear things differently the next time around. And I do like to keep this short because we're all busy people and we only have a short attention span. Maybe you can grab some lunch and eat with me along the way as well. So yeah, email me. Let me know that you'd like to be on the next challenge. I'm going to do this every month. And also, if you go to my website, if you've liked what I've talked about so far, please go to my website anytime and just connect with me. Sign up for a 30-day I wish it was 30 days complimentary coaching. 30 minutes, and in that it's really 20-25 minutes where we get to know each other, see if what I'm saying, what I'm talking about is going to resonate with you, and then we can decide if we're going to go to that next step. And the next step will be to book an hour call with me to just go through some of the challenges you may be having in your life, and you can walk away with one little tip. If coaching is something, maybe I don't have the resources, but maybe there's some other resources. I have a lot of people in my network, other coaches, other business owners who do different things, maybe copywriters. Who else do I have? Website designers, other trainers that do other types of training. And maybe we can have a chat about that as well. Okay, so let's move on to day 3. Well, day 1 is really to think deeply. And if you remember yesterday, I said, well, Liz, I'm already an overthinker. Why do you want me to think more? Well, that's the whole thing. Let's start thinking about your thinking, because the overthinking isn't what you think it is. I know it's kind of like a mouthful, but is overthinking, if you've had the opportunity to see day 1 and day 2, is really the worry. It's rumination. You keep going over things in your mind. It's worry. And behind worry, there's always some kind of fear. And as we know, fear can destroy our health, our relationships, our careers, our business, anything that we do in life, right? And worry. And so a lot of those things, it's really getting to the root of what it is that you're really thinking about, because you don't take the time. And if you follow that warrior framework in day 1, it takes 2 minutes, maybe even less than 2 minutes, to really think through those patterns. If you don't have time, best thing to do is say, park it, and then just, maybe later in the day, before dinner, after dinner, take that 2 minutes and just work through that framework. It worked for me, especially when I had pretty much suicide ideation since I was 18, when I first called the suicide hotline, right up until about, actually not so long ago, actually. I realized that I really had suicide ideation and suicidal thoughts. And it's in 2014, 10 years ago, when I was actually planning to commit suicide, that I used the warrior method. It's kind of like, wait, what? I interrupt the pattern. Is like, what am I thinking? Let's pay attention to that thinking. I want to end my life. I want to wrap my car around a tree. See, I'm observing it now. And so when I'm observing it and thinking about well, how am I feeling? Oh my God, I'm in a lot of pain. But I really didn't know what that pain was. It was emotional pain. And I had to get to the root of that emotional pain. And if because this is just a short time here, I don't really have details, time to really go into that. And that's what coaching is all about. That's what I use coaches and mentors for, and programs and books and stuff, is to really get to that root, to really go deep, wide, and long on that pain and the feelings, feeling of inadequacy, not capable, not enough, not belonging is a big one. Anyway, so when I realized that, and that I was reacting to how I was feeling, and it wasn't really that I wanted to kill myself, it was really that I was reacting to the pain. And so when I asked myself, and that warrior is intention, well, what is my intention? Is it really that I want to kill myself, that I want to die? No. And if I wrap a car around a tree and survive, what's that going to do? What if I end up paraplegic? What if, right? Like all those kind of thoughts. But it's true, right? Because then your family will have to look after you. So the initial intention of suicide is to relieve the family of the burden of dealing with my emotional pain. And it's kind of selfish too. It's really relieving myself of dealing with that emotional pain. But then I thought, well, what if, right? And if I don't take care of my health, that's the other thing that popped into my head. If I do suffer with a stroke, because that's another story. If I do suffer with health complications, right, then my family's going to have to look after me, and then I'm going to be a burden. Like, what are you thinking? So when I'm observing, so that's the O's, when you start observing it and taking a look at and dissecting the thinking and really getting to the root of the feeling, and then you go, wow, aha. And the R in warrior, the last R, is patting yourself on the back and celebrating, rewarding yourself for, wow, I'm so glad that I finally took the time after decades of just powering through, pushing through, and not dealing with it. I finally did what I needed to do. So I finally did. And that's why I'm here today. And that's why I'm teaching you these things. And these are some of the things that I find is really missing out in the personal development world. Everybody says take action and block your time and do all these things, but you're still oscillating back your old habits. Well, let's kick those old habits to the curb, right? By pillar 1, think it. Pillar 2, start changing it. Because when you start changing it and you start telling your mind, this is the way I want to be, your body, your mind's going to follow. Now, of course, like I mentioned, there's going to be resistance. That's just normal because we haven't dealt with the root cause and the aha moments about where did all this come from? Where's all this resistance? Sorry, I'm just going to be looking and making sure I'm not missing any comments. Oh, I didn't do this yesterday. Any comments, any viewers? Let me just quickly go to my Facebook page that I'm zooming into. My apologies. Give me a moment here. Living an Energized Life Facebook page. I'm going live in there. Oh, there I am. Just going to see if there's any comments. Love you guys. Okay, so today is pillar 3, and this is taking live action. And let me share my screen with you for a moment. So it's really about having all the processes, all the books, anything that you may have learned, really align with your true self. I mean, what is it that you really want in the end? Most people, when I talk to, what they really want in the end is to have ease and flow, peace, calm, joy, happiness. So if you recall from day one, it's really being in that positive state, right? That positive being, because that's where you produce more, to be honest. When you're in a negative state, you don't produce as much as when you're in a positive state. But it's shifting to that state that's really important. So when you have all the processes, all the things you've learned, when you have your mind, your body, and your soul all aligned, and you just spend 20 minutes in 3 areas in the morning, that's the foundation of success. That's the foundation of mastering your mindset. Now, most people say, Liz, I don't have 60 minutes, but you've also heard, I'm not the only one, you've probably heard Robin Sharma. I don't know who else does it, but I know Robin Sharma really believes in that. Was it Hal Elrod as well? The morning miracle? I believe so. There's a lot of gurus out there that are telling us and showing us statistically, data research has shown that when you spend an hour in your morning, you start off your morning with an hour of just spending it with you. Don't look at your phone. That's really gonna help you propel forward. And you only need to spend 20 minutes on your mindset, 20 minutes on your body, and 20 minutes on your soul every day. You can spread it out throughout the day too if you want. I spend about an hour, hour and a half in the morning, to be honest, sometimes 2 hours. Yes, one of those 5 a.m.ers, so sometimes 6:30 lately, but I still spend that hour to 2 hours in the morning, and then I sprinkle a little of that magic dust throughout the day. All right, let's get on with it. So the power of mastering your mindset really involves taking live action. We know Tony Robbins says that, right? Take massive action. I think when Tony Robbins says take massive action, it's really because if you push yourself beyond your capability, he wants you to really push yourself. You don't, when he talks about raising the bar, I think that's what he's talking about too. Sometimes people go, "Oh, massive action, you can't take massive." Well, just bear with me for a minute. I think what he's trying to do is, you set the bar here, and in order to grow and develop, you really need to go to that extra step. And it's really about changing who you are. Remember, I talked about blueprints? It's changing that identity. We're used to this identity, but as we're growing and evolving in our business, I'm going to move for a second. As we're growing and evolving in our business, we are always going to that next level, right? And so you need to have these 3 areas in place. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you right up front. I fell off last week, stopped working out just because I thought I was getting too busy. And then I realized I was starting to get more stressed. My mood was changing. Like, I get negative moods too, pop in here and there throughout the day, just a human condition. But I'm able to handle it better now than I did years ago. Years ago, it'd take me weeks, months, days. But anyways, back to this. All right, next slide. So this is what I'm talking about. With your mind, right? It's becoming aware of those sabotage patterns that are really holding you back. When you become aware of your sabotage patterns, that's really the identity that you're in right now. For example, let me say you're a perfectionist. Some people say I'm a perfectionist. First of all, I'm going to get you to stop saying you are. You have perfectionist tendency. It's a coping mechanism, and it could relate to something that happened or a reason why you did what you did when you were a child, and it just carried throughout the years and it just became part of your identity. But now you're realizing it's no longer serving you. So you want to change that. You want a new identity. There may be a case where you still need to use that perfectionist tendency, right? Still have to be like my slides here. They have to be perfect. Can't have any spelling mistakes sometimes, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So it's really taking a look at the model of the world and then changing that model, remodeling it to the way you want it to be. And that's what really builds confidence when you integrate it with your body. So exercise, making sure, because we know, I think Robin Sharma, or was it someone else? There's a lot of books that I've read out there on the subject. Exercise, when you're exercising, you all know the benefits, not only physically, for depression, for anxiety, for stress, for coronary disease, all sorts of diseases, because it eases up on the dis-ease, right? It has everything to do with your nervous system. I'd love to go into more detail about that, but that's what I teach and coach people on in my program, which is living an energized life. So you're welcome anytime to, if you'd like to find out more about that program, by all means, let me know. I'll go into more detail there, but now it's more of a just information for you. Exercise creates not only the hormones and the good feeling, serotonin, all the things we need, dopamine, whatever. There's also what they call BDNF. It it releases this chemical that actually cleans your brain and helps to regenerate neurons in our brain. It's bionutrial development factor, whatever. I forget. I'm apologize today. My brain's a little, but it's what you're feeding your brain as well can cause toxicity to your brain, and toxicity to your body. You hear about a lot of allergies out there as well for people. And of course, diet, nutrition, exercise. So when you incorporate your mindset in the morning, taking 20 minutes to read, 20 minutes to go over your goals, to look at, becoming aware of, maybe you became aware of something that you wanted to work on, journal it, that sort of thing, and you incorporate exercise, that's what builds your confidence. When you do some soul work, meditation, meditate in terms of on your goals, what you want to accomplish for the day, connection in terms of making sure that you have pockets in the day, maybe after dinner, where you're connecting with family, friends, kids, whatever it is, taking that time to connect, but also connect with yourself through meditation. And of course, dancing. There's music, there's dancing. Music is a great way, whether it's listening to piano, classical, maybe, Justin Timberlake, whoever you like to listen to, Lionel Richie, I'm just, maybe country, and just get up and dance for a little bit. That's really helping you relax and connect to that inner essence of who you really are. That's where you have courage. And of course, when you connect with your soul and your mind, working on your mindset, that's where you get clarity, right? It's that visualization, that meditation visualization, but also that's where the remodeling happens. Reconnect, creating those neural pathways that you want to strengthen. So that's where clarity comes in as well. And of course, when you focus on all those three areas, not only are you going to have more clarity, not only are you going to have more confidence, not only you're going to have more courage, but you're going to have more ease and flow. The problem we have is that we become impatient, right? We tend to rush through these processes. I noticed that myself. Sometimes I'm just going to take 5 minutes, but I got so used to the 15, 20 minutes that I would spend meditating every day. The 5 minutes didn't cut it. But I have to tell you this, that when I stopped meditating for a few days last week. That was one of the things I think I mentioned, Dave, that I wanted to tell you. And then I thought about it and I thought, I need to do it. And then when I started doing it again a couple of days ago, it's like instantly I was able to shift again. Now, mind you, because I hadn't done it for a few days, thoughts keep coming in to my head. You get that runaway brain, but it's okay. I've learned that it's okay to have those thoughts coming in when I'm meditating, and then easily can now deal with it at a later time. So here are some of the problems. The problem with impatience and the problem with the past is we tend to look at shortcuts. Everything's a band-aid. Just cover it up. You need to get to the root. Remember, in the 4 stages of thinking, changing, and living, which is really the 4 stages of learning, that we tend to avoid the pain and discomfort of the change. So when we get to level 2, we go back to the unconscious incompetent level because of the pain and discomfort when we become consciously aware of the pain. You really want to move to conscious competence, and that's where the practice comes in. so that it becomes unconscious, incompetent, right? Like tying your shoes, driving a car. And that's how you form habits, is by understanding those 4 stages of learning and how that applies to mastering your mindset. So that was yesterday. Or, yeah, that was yesterday. All right. Oh, I'm not going to go into learning new this new platform, StreamYard. It's quite good. It's a couple of things. Here we go. So really, what is this about? Well, oftentimes when I'm coaching people, they tell me that they don't have time. They don't have time to eat. I've gone through that 3 stages. They don't have time to eat. They don't have time to exercise. They don't have to meditate, go for a walk, read. But then they don't have time to go to the doctor. But then finally, you go to the doctor, you get the x-ray, you get the result, and it's like, uh-oh, because that was me. I didn't take care of my health. I didn't take care of my mindset. And I didn't take care of my soul. And now I'm being told at the age of 56 that I could have a heart attack or a stroke and die if I don't take care of myself. Yeah, that was almost 10 years ago. So, right? And that's what we all do. But I said I was tired and exhausted, right? And I wasn't taking the time to recover, rest. Oftentimes I was thinking, like many of my clients come to me think the same way, that tomorrow they haven't even finished or closed out today yet, right? And you're thinking tomorrow. I do that sometimes even now, but I become aware of it. And so I'm not fully present or creating what it is. It's really just creating more turbulence in my life. And that's what's exhausting, right? Because we're brought up with the belief that we have to grind, we have to work hard, long hours, this idea of, powering through, keep going. It's like, I'm a warrior, I've got my sword up and I'm just going to keep powering through. But when you ever notice that when you do take downtime, maybe you take an hour out to watch something, a show you've recorded or Netflix, or take a vacation or weekend, that when you do return, you seem to operate more effectively and efficiently during your uptime, right? You get more done, you're distracted less, right? Like, wouldn't you like to plan your productive time and your business and your life and your career and your relationships, put so much emphasis and time and thought into it as you do planning your vacation, so that you can enjoy that vacation, take that time and enjoy it? That's really what this is about. It's really about stopping the fight, the fighting it through, and to really get to your end result and desire and your dreams and hopes. Stop ignoring the reality of how you are sabotaging yourself. And with this idea of not having time, it's really about slowing down, and you've probably heard this before, to speed up. Because if you don't take that hour, even if you spread that hour out throughout the day, maybe you'll take 20 minutes in the morning workout. Great. Maybe you'll take 20 minutes at lunchtime and dance or meditate or connect with someone. Great. Maybe you'll do your workout, after dinner or before dinner. Great, right? I prefer to get it all done in the morning and then spread some more throughout the day. That's just me. But it's really about rethinking what you do, right? That's step 1. Give you a couple of tools there, and how you approach the things, and then put the appropriate time, effort, and mental capacity into not only working smarter, but thinking smarter. We think smarter by thinking bigger. That was the whole purpose of yesterday, is get you to stop thinking small and worrying and fear and all those other things that are going on, but start thinking bigger. How you really want to live your life. What is it that you really want with your health? What is it that, recognize that you are the predominant creator in your life. Recognize that you do want to live your true nature and purpose. And so when you think bigger, that's so much better. right? And I'm sure when you went through that exercise yesterday, you felt better. And then later on, I'm sure some resistance came in. That's what we need to work on, is that resistance. That resistance is real self-sabotage. So when you overthink less, and overthinking, as I mentioned yesterday as well, is really worry and fear. You relax more. And when you relax more, you get more done. You don't have to work 12-hour days. You can start reducing it to 10-hour days, eventually 8 hours, and eventually 6, and then live the life you really want. So have you ever noticed that from thinking, it's thinking small that holds you back, right? Exactly. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I also want you to take a look at how much time you spend in stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. Take a moment. Take a moment now just to see how much you actually spend. You know, is it 4 hours a day? Is it 12 hours a day? For me, it was chronic. I couldn't even sleep at night. So if it had to be 20 hours a day, it would be 20 hours a day for me. Eventually, by doing the work, I reduced the time. Now, to be honest with you, how long did it take me? I would say a good couple of years. And what really was what really kind of flipped the switch for me was understanding the modeling. When understanding that it's structure, right? Model blueprint is really about structure. That when I understood that my identity was holding me back from really progressing forward, or even taking that next step that I needed to do in business, that's when everything shifted. Just understanding that. And it's going through a number of processes and tools for a 3-month span. Then it finally clicked for me. And what I also understood is that 70% of our adult life is spent in stress, fight or flight, survival mode. But when you spend 20 minutes, and if you can't say, Liz, that's too much for me to do 20 minutes. Maybe you haven't worked out or exercised for years or months. Fine, start with 5 minutes. Even if you just do 5 minutes of stretching every morning, start with that. And that will be enough just to get you going and to start the momentum. Yeah, and start owning your morning. That's going to elevate your life. Don't go to your phone, especially some people said, well, how long? You know what? If the phone is the first thing you pick up, start with small increments of time. I would suggest 15 minutes, and you'll notice the difference. Really, if you could spend that first hour without touching your phone, that is the best thing. That's how you move your mind. That's going to give you clarity. That's going to help you unleash your potential, unleash the genius within. You've got so much already. You've gotten this far already. You've been successful. Just think how much more successful you can become if you just relaxed and didn't spend so much time in stress, anxiety, and worry. So that's move your mind, is really spending time on personal development. What are you filling your mind with? Let me ask you this. What are you filling your mind with every day? How do you do your morning? How you do your morning is how your day unfolds, how your week's going to unfold, months and years. So if you visualize your perfect day, that's how you want to identify with yourself. Because when you were visualizing your perfect day yesterday, we're using a lot of mind and soul yesterday. Your inner compass, your inner positioning system, your inner being, your higher self, your superconscious, I'm just saying a lot of, because people call it a lot of different things. I like to call it the inner warrior. That's why I came up with the warrior system. That inner warrior, because that's that perseverance, that persistence, that, even when I had suicidal thoughts, part of me would say, like, I couldn't understand where it came from, but going through Warrior, I could understand it. Even when I had suicidal thoughts, I wasn't quite planning yet. I just had thoughts for decades, not until 10 years ago when I actually started planning. And I still persevered though. Something, I would think of something. I always thought about, how much I loved my parents, how much I loved my friends. And then 10 years ago, it was how much I loved my kids. So it was always, and that's what they say when you're in sales too, is always, how can you be of service to others? How can you help? When you put the emphasis on others, that makes you feel better. It's interesting, isn't it? So that's the whole idea about moving your mind. And when you move your body, that's the exercise, nutrition, and sleep, really important. You start releasing those good feeling hormones. You fuel your body, and sleep helps you regenerate your body, right? That BDN, it's like BNF. It's that brain derived neurotropic factor. It's really miracle fertilizer for your brain, right? You use fertilizer for your grass every 4 weeks, but I'm saying use the fertilizer every day for your brain. So that way you can create new brain cells, dissolve stress, and expand your joy. And then, of course, move your soul. So those are the three things. It really helps with your heart. It helps get to that deep identity where your joy, happiness, and helps you connect to yourself through meditation, in quiet reflection, maybe journaling, and helps to unleash your genius. That's where when you unleash your genius, that's what houses your courage, your compassion, and conviction. It's all within you. But how you live emotionally and your beliefs that you create from the heart, that's what amplifies the healthy beliefs. Some people do it through prayer. There's gratitude, genius, really remembering who you are. I know 60 minutes is a lot, but how about you take 5 minutes in each area? So spend 5 minutes personal development. Maybe you could watch a YouTube video of your favorite. Could be Benjamin Hardy, could be Tony Robbins, could be Brendan Burchard, maybe my YouTube channel. Check out my YouTube channel. Here, yeah. Check out my YouTube channel and start, and then see where the momentum takes you. Spend 5 minutes on exercising, 5 minutes refilling, something of water so that you can keep track of how much water intake you get throughout the day. Spend 5 minutes before you go to bed to read an actual book or just to meditate, turning all electronics and everything off, right? And so it's really changing that set point that you have, right? To get comfortable. Now, what's going to happen, it's just like a thermostat, right? That all have this set point. And what happens when we change that set point, it's going to cause us to react in different ways. That's where the resistance comes in. Just recognize that. And use the tools that I've given you, like to really picture. When you're really picturing how you want your life to be or who you want to be, it's really important to feel it. Step into that feeling and what's different from who you are today. Anyways, I want to say thank you so much. I'm hoping you've taken the time to answer the questions that I've asked you to answer as we went through here. And before we go, I want to encourage you to go onto my website, lizjacoy.com, scroll down to book a call with me, 30 minutes. Well, actually, we spend about 20, 25 minutes just to get to know each other and see where some of the challenges you might have. Maybe there's some other resources or people. Maybe there's other things that I can offer you instead of coaching with me. Maybe you want to ask me about exercise or gyms or, recipes. Maybe I can give you some tips along that line too. So please reach out. And what is the path? Before I go, I also want to give you some information about what is the path to mastering your mindset. And it's really about think about what you want. It's really creating that vision, that what, and that why. Why? Like for me, I didn't want my kids to look after me. So if I suffered a stroke or a heart attack, they would have to look after me. And I didn't want that. They're only 14 and 17 at the time. They've got their own lives to live. And I also started picturing that my wife was losing weight, getting in shape. Not only that, but when they get married and have kids, I don't want to be that grandma that's sitting on the couch and bellowing orders to everybody, right? I want to be the grandma that actually goes down the slide with the kids at the age of 75 or sits down on the ground and plays with the kids at the age of 75. That was my why. And of course, my mindset, because I realized how it was impacting my health and really holding me back from my business because I was in a negative mindset a lot of the times. Why should I send out emails? I don't know who emails to send to. Maybe I'll just go get another coffee instead. It's like keep getting rejected. Nobody wants to buy from me, right? All those kind of things. So it's really important. So I started to think about what I was thinking, and that uncovered my limiting beliefs, my patterns, my feelings, and actions. When I started to imagine my desired reality, my future self, I really wanted to be, that's what I started to pull myself towards. But I started to realize the patterns would appear, and then I dealt with the pattern so that I can keep moving forward. So sometimes you do need to take 2 steps back. Sometimes you need to slow down before you can leap forward again. And then I started to look at where I currently am, and that helped to uncover the patterns and belief. But it's really, you still create tension, and you'll notice, is this tension because of excitement that I'm moving towards my goal? Or is it resistance that's pulling me back? Which one is it? Is it pulling me towards my goal? Or is it pulling me back? Is it creative tension? Or is it resistance, creating more resistance? So how do you do that? It's really recoding, rewiring, and restructuring your thinking and your brain to different feelings and actions. And then, of course, when you take action, you look at the results that you're getting, give yourself some feedback, learn from it, and take action again. So it's kind of creating a loop that you repeat. Anyways, I love you all. I'm hoping that you will take me up on my offer, book a call with me just to get to know me a little bit better. And if you'd like to be part of the challenge again next month, let me know. You can send me an email at liz@lizjacoy.com, and I'll look forward to seeing you again. Oh, also let me know in the comments how you enjoyed the 3 days, or what stood out for you today, what was the best part of today, and book a call. Have a great day.